But first, lenders were already withdrawing some mortgage products even before the government announced its mini budget and the pound fell to a record low against the dollar. The financial researchers Moneyfacts said the number of available products in the residential sector dropped by to 3,800 by the start of this month, the lowest number they'd seen then in over a year. Since then, more products have been withdrawn, with HSBC, Santander and Virgin Money among the lenders to have temporarily stopped offering mortgages to new customers. Indeed, we heard in the news that getting on for 1,000 more had been withdrawn. Well, with interest rates predicted to rise again, it's leading many of us to wonder how affordable our mortgages might be in the months ahead and what, if anything, we can do about this. Well, Sally Mitchell is a mortgage broker at a company called The Mortgage Mum. Sally, first of all, perhaps we better clarify. I imagine you're on top of the latest figures of the number of mortgages withdrawn.
It's amazing. Since yesterday, I have had emails probably every half an hour with another lender pulling the plug on a lot of their products.
Right. So, I mean, and this is really a huge escalation, even since the figures that I was quoting there.
Yes, absolutely. They seem to be, going down by like 9 pence, to be honest.
Why are they doing it? Why are some lenders offering fewer mortgage products than they did?
Well, exactly. There's a few things. First of all, there's the increases to the Bank of England base rate that we've seen. We've seen 7 in a row. The fall of the pound versus the dollar and the huge increase in swap rates. They've all had an effect.
Sorry, what do you mean by swap rates?
Well, swap rates are typically, very simply, what the lenders borrow their money at that they then lend to us. Now, obviously, if those rates are high, then they're not going to want to lend to us at lower than what they've bought the money for. Yeah, exactly. They're in business; they have to wipe their face. How
much does this all matter? This falling number of mortgages?
Well, I think it does matter a lot because if you are looking to remortgage or to purchase at the moment, then really the pond you're fishing in is a lot smaller. There are still fish in it, but the fish that are left are much more expensive.
Right. So you haven't got the choice.
No, you haven't got the choice.
Well, also on the line is Spencer Dixon. Now, he's an IT director. He lives near Columpton in Devon. Spencer, your 5-year fixed rate mortgage deal comes to an end in May, really. How much is it costing you per month at the moment?
So at the moment, I'm paying £1,281 a month. So that's about 2.14 the fix, which was obviously very cheap at the time I fixed it.
Mm. And have you any idea how much your monthly payments might be once your fixed rate deal comes to an end?
Well, no, I can see that they're heading up, and obviously there's lots of offers being withdrawn already. And they're, I think if I was allowed to and I could refix today, I think it'd be about 1,600 quid, but I've no idea where they're going to end up in May.
And I'm sorry if this sounds a stupid question, but how worried are you?
Fairly. There's obviously two parts to this. We've all been getting used to increased energy costs and making economies to try and keep in balance. And then obviously this comes along, and that's as much again, if not more.
Right, we'll come back to you to what you're planning to do, because I wanted to ask Sally, what do you think someone in Spencer's position should do?
It's so difficult, isn't it? And as Spencer said, you're being squeezed from all angles at the moment. It's not just the mortgage payments. That's just the most recent blow for people, trying to live their lives. The first thing to do is not to panic. I have had a lot of calls from clients who have gone from, 1, absolutely being fine, to 10, total panic, I'm going to lose my property. There is so much that can be done in that middle space between 2 and 9. And I want people not to bury their head in the sand, but also take a breath and just, think logically, get the best advice they can and think about what they can do.
Now, I know you'd recommend using a broker, but that itself can sometimes come at extra costs, can't it? I mean, people can do research for themselves online.
Oh, absolutely. I would fall short of Dave down the pub, but there is an awful lot of expert advice available online, and there are, of course, brokers who don't charge a fee. I think it depends on the way you like to research things, and also your particular circumstance. If you've got a very specific, complicated scenario, then maybe going to a broker might be a good idea.
Okay. Can it make sense because a lot of people think about this and are thinking about this, to switch to a new mortgage deal before your old one comes to an end? Because that often involves an early repayment charge, doesn't it?
It does, and the shorter time you've got, the better the rate, basically, or the penalty. For some people, yes, it might be an option. I'm quite mean. I don't like to give away money unnecessarily. But if stability and security and being locked in is the most important thing to you, and it makes you sleep at night, then it's something to consider.
Right. Let me go back to Spencer. What do you think you'll end up doing? How are you thinking about this?
I'm still trying to think my way out of it, to be honest, at the moment. So one is I put a call into the lender and just find out what the buyout fee is, because the rates that are currently on offer are more than I'm paying. But £1,500 or £1,600, I could probably just about live with that. My fear is if interest rates go up to some of the numbers that are being talked about, 6-7%, then we're talking more like £700, £800, £900 a month extra, and that would be extremely difficult to manage. What
would that mean? What would you have to contemplate?
I think that would be sell and downsize. I think at that sort of money.
Really? And can you? Presumably that's the last thing you want to do, but you might have to. Definitely not. Don't want to be taking kids out of school and all of that. Right. Let me go back quickly to Sally. Are most of your clients now looking for fixed rate deals?
Yes. It seems to be the most popular call that I'm getting at the moment. People don't like, insecurity and instability.
They'd rather know, even if it's, a lot, I guess.
Well, yes, because then they can sort of, plan around it or make adjustments if possible wherever they can. It feels like we're on a sort of a runaway train at the moment, and no one seems to be able to tell us when it's going to stop.
Can I ask you quickly, if you give me quite a brief answer, but do you know how many people have not shopped around, so their mortgage is just on the basic standard variable interest rate?
Yes, at the moment there's 1.1 million, and then a further 1.1 million on a discounted or tracker. So that's a lot of people who are, probably feeling that the train is right underneath them.
Right. Sally Mitchell, Spencer Dixon, thank you both very much. And we've tried to give some answers there if we can.